Regardless of what happens tonight as far as the outcome, Chip, obviously it's been a banner year for the Aztecs, and they've done a lot of good for their athletics programs, but you're also a big college football guy. I know you've seen the talk about the Pac-12 and, SMU, San Diego State, all of that. How do you feel like the Aztecs fit as far as that potential new future of theirs, and how much do you think this basketball run has helped aid that or should help aid that?
I think the wheels were in motion at the institutional level. And like I do that, wooing the university presidents is more important than winning public opinion. Mm-hmm. But for public opinion, goodness gracious, I'd announce it tomorrow. I would come out, unless they get totally blasted,
right.
But I would come out and I would say that San Diego State team that just made it to the national championship game and gave UConn all it could handle, we are inviting them to the Pac-12. And this is what we're going to do. San Diego State made it farther than UCLA. San Diego State made it farther than USC. Look at this great addition. That would be the PR side of this. But again, my assumption is that when you already have the institutional wheels in motion, then you're headed at least in that direction. This run, probably just makes it seem a little bit better and a little bit easier to sell to the general college sports public at large. In terms of the addition of San Diego State, you are getting a program that in both men's basketball and football has been the class of the conference of the Mountain West. So if you're going to have to reach down to pull up, so to speak, San Diego State is a great candidate and then an unsurprising one if the Pac-12 is seeking expansion targets.
What do you think happens in that regard? Like with expansion, the media deal, where do you stand on that?
I don't know what the timetable is going to be in terms of media deal, expansion, and how potential expansion has impacted when that deal is going to be, locked in, or whether they're going to, agree to one deal and then reopen it. I think in general that college football playoff expansion has created a bit of a lifeline for, the Pac-12, the ACC, the Big 12. There's a lot of panic about the financial gap between the SEC and the Big 10, but as long as there are 6 automatic bids to the 12-team playoff that are reserved for conference champions, then there is a competitive edge to not necessarily – you are giving up a lot at the bank, but you still have a path to be able to make it to the college football playoff. So, where are we headed with all this? You talked to me in July of 2022. I thought we were headed to a 230. I thought we were headed towards the doomsday power 2. Everything is exploding. And I think that, interestingly enough, college football playoff expansion, something that I fundamentally think we didn't need, might end up being the thing that sort of puts pause on this, barreling towards the future where the ACC, the Pac-12, the Big 12, basically everybody but the SEC and the Big 10 is playing in a different universe.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. It was maybe an AD or somebody that mentioned they just want to have hope that the fact when you start practicing in August that you have a chance to play for the national champion no matter what conference you're in.
Right, and that's, when you've got, for example, there are six spots in the 12-team playoff that are reserved for conference champions, which means not just in the Pac-12, not just in the Big 12, but in the American Athletic Conference. You're showing up in fall camp all right,
yep.
There's a path for us. In the Sun Belt, you're saying okay, here we go. Even in the Mountain West, if we pull all this together and if we beat everybody on our schedule, we can show up on Conference Championship Saturday where a win could end up giving us a shot at the national championship. So, yeah, there is an inclusion aspect of this where some of these leagues, they're going to have an understanding that financially they are at an enormous deficit, but competitively when it comes to competing for the national championship, they still have a way to put it all together. And look, San Diego State operates at a deficit to a lot of major athletic departments. And San Diego State is playing for a national championship on the first Monday night in April. And that's about all you can ask for.
Yep. We've had those presidents, ADs, whoever from those conferences get maybe $4 million $5 million, $6 or $7 million, and now no matter which of the Power Five or whatever we want to call them, they would at least get 3-4 times that, and that's got to be a huge thing. Thank you very